Hello Mzansi, sanamukela la Dijo Le Bophelo on SABC2. The aim of our show is to help deal with food-related issues in order for us to live happier, healthier lives. Every week sinimeme ukuthi nisibuze noma yini enifuna ukuyazi ngokudla bese ke thina siletha ongqondo bethu ukuthi baphendule imibuzo yenu. Namhlanje sikhuluma ngokudla that can assist in mental health yethu. The 36-year-old Moeketsi from Ebuhle Park who posted a video on our Twitter page with a few questions ngalolu daba lwe-mental health.
Hello Dijo Le Bophelo, bengicela ningincede ningicebise ngokudla engakudla okunganginceda ku-mental health situation engikuyo.
Sesihamba siyohlangana noMoeketsi to learn more about him before siphendula imibuzo yakhe. Akhe sibone.
Igama nguMoeketsi Dawiyatswala, I'm 36 years old, ngihlala eBuhle Park. Recently I was going through emotion problems ebenginawo nje la emalangeni, and I couldn't find abantu engangikhuluma nabo because uma une problem eso abakuthathele ekhaya bazokuthatha ngazathi awukho serious or maybe so uyahlanya vele or something. I was watching Dijo Le Bophelo on SABC2 and I followed ngabheka na ku YouTube. And I've seen they've been helping a lot of people with certain foods that they can eat or avoid to help them with their situation of depression. So bengajabulela ukuthi iDijo Le Bophelo engincede ngibonise ukuthi yini engayihlisa yini enga-avoida or yini engayishintsha ku-lifestyle yami engiyiphilayo at the moment.
We are joined by GP and health professional Dr. Kgomotso Mogapi, who will be answering imibuzo kaMoeketsi. Please join ingxoxo yethu ku Twitter na ku Facebook or Instagram or email uthi dijolebophelo@sabc.co.za. Siyabuya manje after this Cortes break. Welcome back. Usasenam la Dijo Le Bophelo. Namhlanje sikhuluma ngokudla ne-mental health. Our health professional and GP Dr. Kgomotso Mogapi will be giving valuable answers to imibuzo kaMoeketsi. Sawubona doctor.
Sawubona Kabo.
It's always great having you on our show.
And I'm happy to be here.
Ngaphambi kokuthi seyitolo, we heard from Moeketsi and ufuna ukufind out ukuthi ingabe khona ukudla that can help with mental health. He has specific questions that he has posted on our Twitter page, so we'll be answering these questions with our expert guest namhlanje. Now ungajoina in kunento mhlawumbe ozaziyo about mental health, mhlawumbe umndeni wakho une-mental health or umngani wakho une-mental health issue, awusitweete lapho uthi @Dijo Le Bophelo or Instagram @Dijo Le Bophelo, Facebook, or email us on dijolebophelo@sabc.co.za. My doctor, asingene endabeni. Is there food that can affect mental health?
Absolutely. Mental diseases talks about mood and how you feel. So there are foods that we know affect how you feel.
Yes.
There are foods that can make you feel happy. If you eat sugary stuff, you're going to feel high, right? We'll talk about the effects on that. So
yes.
A lot of people will eat that to feel better. However, there are foods that can also deplete the chemicals that make you feel good. Remember, those chemicals are made up of substances which you must eat. So let's take a chemical in the brain that makes you feel good. You would need an amino acid, which is forming a protein.
Yes.
You would need a sugar, you would need some vitamin C. But if you're eating food that don't give you amino acids, that don't give you vitamin C, that don't give you vitamin Cs, you cannot make a chemical to make you feel good. So you're thinking, I want to feel happy. But you can't because your body is not able to make those chemicals.
Understood.
So in a nutshell, you can damage your physical brain, you can deplete the chemicals that make you feel good, and you can deprive your body of the of what it needs to make the chemicals to make you feel good.
And this is all based on food.
This can be all based on
May
food.
we hear the question?
Hello, Dijo Le Bophelo. Bengacela ukuthi ningazise ukuthi khona ukudla kunganginceda kule simo engikuso ese-mental health or depression.
What kinds of food?
So we need to give him food to help him feel good without causing any further damage. So he would need your fruits, okay, your vegetables, your legumes, and your whole grains. And why am I mentioning all of these things? Remember I said those chemicals that make you feel good.
Yes.
When somebody has depression, what do we say they have? They have a chemical imbalance.
Imbalance, right.
So we want to give them food to balance their chemicals. Bananas are actually good for helping somebody feel good. For different reasons, actually. They can work directly on your brain, but they can also work on your gut. They're called prebiotics, okay? Prebiotics are substances that feed the good bacteria in your gut. Now you're thinking, okay, what's that got to do with depression? You've got good bacteria and you've got bad bacteria. The good bacteria lives in your body. And what it does is it eats the leftover products and it makes chemicals for you. 90% of a chemical called serotonin, which is what makes you feel good, happy, content. 90% of your serotonin is actually not made in your brain. It is made by the bacteria in your gut. There is a link between your brain and your gut. It's actually called, your gut is actually called your second brain. Because if you don't have that bacteria that make the serotonin, it doesn't matter how much you say, I want to feel good, I want to feel good. 90% of it is made in your gut. You don't have the bacteria, you can't make it, you cannot feel good. So one of the important things to do is to make sure that you're going to the toilet. That's why you would have things like your apples.
Yes,
apart from the nutrients it has fiber, which cleans your system. The fiber also holds the sugar so that your brain is getting the sugar as it needs it. So there is a definite link between your gut and your brain in terms of how you think and also in terms of how you feel. And we'll talk about the details of it.
Wow, my mind is blown. Okay, so tell me how, I can imagine the nuts and the vegetables. Because you know what's so sad is that these foods are not popular, if I make sense. These are not the cool foods. The cool foods are your burgers and your processed foods. Those are the cooler foods, and those are the foods that I'm actually gonna say that food is brain damaging. And this is healing.
Yes. As I said, one of the first things you want to do in healing the brain is really healing the gut. So you need to be on a high fiber diet. I mean, when you look at this, you've got your greens. All of these are high in fiber, obviously, except for your avocado. That's a different thing. So it's important not to to be peeling your potatoes. These are baby potatoes. You can have them and have a good source of fiber. Right. So clean the gut. When you're cleaning the gut, you're getting rid of the toxins. Otherwise, the toxins will circulate in your body and will circulate in your brain, causing damage. That's why in the food that we bring, you need foods that are going to help him feel good, but you also need foods that are going to help rebuild the damaged part of the brain.
Understood.
So that the brain can itself start making the right chemicals and so that he can start thinking right to get himself out of a situation.
Sure. It's a mouthful, but it makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm seeing here lentils and whole wheat pasta. Whole wheat macaroni.
You know, actually, this is one of my favorite meals. I mean, right now it doesn't look,
attractive.
when it's not, yes, it doesn't look attractive. But whole wheat pasta is going to make sure that you have it's a whole grain. It's not the white pasta as we know it. So it has your vitamin B6 and your other vitamin Bs. For you to make the chemicals to make you feel good, you need an amino acid, which is a building block for a protein.
Right.
So when you get your proteins from this sauce
lentils,
with the fiber and you've cooked it nicely with some chopped tomato and onion and you have your whole wheat pasta so you get your amino acids from here, you get your vitamin Bs from there, and from your salad with the tomatoes, you'll get your vitamin C. Then you're able to make the neurotransmitters to make you feel right.
Amazing. Thank you, Doc. Right. I'm very interested in Moeketsi's next question.
utshwala abukho right for i-system yami. Yini enye futhi ekukuthi kwamele ngingayisebenzisi ngi-avoid ene yini engayidla enganginceda?
You are going to be very unpopular.
You know, I understand where he's coming from. When you're feeling depressed, temporarily, alcohol is a solution. That's a scientific joke. It's a solution, but it doesn't really dissolve your problems.
Nice.
Really. When you wake up in the morning, your problems are still there. Your liver, which is your filter for toxins now, is also damaged. So it's easier for you to accumulate more toxins. And those fibers of your brain are damaged. How many things do we do under the influence of alcohol that we said we would not do? Where does that come from? Because the part of your brain that helps you make moral decisions is damaged by what you're drinking. It might not be permanently, but over time, it may become permanently damaged. But it's not just alcohol that does that. So he's asking what other things are going to contribute. And I brought some other things. You know, we all love coffee because it's a pick-me-up, you know. I know when I needed some kind of energy drinks, I'm not talking about coffee actually, let's talk about caffeine. A lot of people are working jobs, you're tired, you need to be on the go, so you take your caffeinated drinks. Yes, it makes you feel alert, but it takes a lot of your body minerals and uses up a lot of energy because your body interprets it as you've put a substance in that requires an emergency.
Yes.
And then it uses up your resources.
Yes.
But there was no emergency. That's why after a while, you get a downer and then you need another one. Do you understand? So caffeine will do that. Caffeine reduces blood flow to your brain. So apart from the alcohol, which he mentioned, in its various forms, whether it be a wine or a beer, you know, these things are going to affect your brain. Even though you feel good, because all you do is you stop thinking about your problems temporarily because you're shutting down your thinking center. So that the only thing that functions is your limbic system, your feeling center. So you don't want to be doing this, even though temporarily it makes you feel good. And remember, it's also going to make you dehydrated, which causes your brain to be dehydrated. Hence the headache the morning after, right? Because, and that's causing damage also to your brain cells. So he wants to avoid the caffeine, he wants to avoid the alcohol as well. He wants to avoid the fizzy drinks.
Oh, that's the favorite, isn't it?
Yes.
Addictive as well.
Yes, a drink with every meal. Let's talk about that addiction of it, because it's the sugar. There could be anywhere between 8 to 16 tablespoons in that. If you tried to drink that in a glass of water, you would not be able to. Your taste buds would not allow you. So phosphoric acid is added in to make you not detect that. But your body is able to. So your brain releases a lot of dopamine. Then the next time, you need more sugar to release more dopamine. And in time, you run out of dopamine. So you get to a point where nothing that you do gives you pleasure. We just have to give you the facts about, you know, drinking fizzy drinks, eating your ice cream. These are the things that damage you. And, you know, you and I used to talk about how to make a healthy spato. You know, because we would be using white bread. White bread, I'm sorry, is nutritionally empty.
Oh, my goodness.
That's why when you eat this, you can eat up to a whole loaf, 8 slices of it. There is nothing in there.
You know what's scary, Doc? This is what I see all the time. It's this together with this, and then I am drinking this.
Yeah, this is a typical meal. And we've already spoken about the processed meats with their high salt content causing dehydration. The salt content is all wrong. A lot of the times, there's viruses. Now you're creating inflammation when you're eating these kind of things. So anyway, I think this is depressing enough.
It's enough.
Let's move on to things that will help Moeketsi and not add more to his depression.
Agreed.
Thank you, Kabo.
Agreed. Let's hear Moeketsi's next question.
Bengacela ukuthi ningichazisele ukuthi ngesidlo sasekuseni, sasemini, nesantambama yini eningangicebisa ngayo ukuthi ngidle yona ukuthi ngize ngibe right.
All right, so now I like that question.
I love this question.
I love being solution-based.
Yes.
Anybody, as Kabo is bringing the food, anybody who's suffering from depression must understand that it's going to take a moment, but if they do what needs to be done, they will be fine. What we have here is a bowl of granola. All right, granola is nice if you don't like oats.
It's sweet though. Is that okay?
He can make his own granola, but when you go to the shops, you can look for granola that is not sweetened.
Okay.
And it has seeds and nuts. So you'll be able to have a look and see how much sugar content it has.
Okay.
All right? And then you will want to, obviously, a milk to go with it. Here we've got some almond milk. Remember, plant-based milk. And then to make you feel good, you can have some toast, brown. This is brown bread, you see, or whole wheat, or even rye bread with some peanut butter.
Yes.
Peanut butter makes you feel good, like I said about the nuts. So this would be a breakfast to help him feel good. Oh,
hey.
Now you're a woman after my own heart.
Hey.
I mean, I call this banana bread, right?
Right.
So you have your peanut butter, you put some banana in there. It actually really tastes nice. And if you put some desiccated coconut, Moeketsi, you can definitely have this. It is very nice.
I'm going in. You have to talk.
I'm jealous, but this will help you boost your mood. Remember I said banana helps you feel good, avocado makes you feel good. You don't feel heavy after it, and your body has gotten what it needs. You will be full for about 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours, and in between you'll just be drinking your water. So that's a perfect breakfast for him.
Disadvantage of the peanut butter, it takes a while. It takes a while. Right, so this is Moeketzi's breakfast.
This is his breakfast. Right.
What's for lunch, Doc?
So when you eat a meal like this, you'll be full for long. You don't want to be eating too often because remember, when your stomach is busy digesting food, the blood is focusing in your stomach.
Yes.
You shouldn't eat and immediately do brain work, okay? You're overworking your brain. So eat your breakfast, go for a little walk, then come back and start doing some work. All right. This is one of my favorite lunches, okay? You have your green salad. This has your vitamin Bs, it has your fiber. We've got avocado, which has got good fats for your brain. Okay, then you'll sprinkle some olive oil. Remember, you need your omegas for your brain. Your brain is a fatty tissue.
And you've got your omega from your Evo and your omega from your...
Yes, and you get your vitamin E. So you would have this as your salad. If you're trying to lose weight, you would eat more of the salad to fill up a bit of your stomach. Then you won't eat this like this. But what you would do is you would take your potatoes. You don't need to peel them. So these are baby potatoes. You can cook them whole and add some pesto without the cheese.
The cheese.
Or what you can do, what I like to do is slice them, put them in a pan with a little bit of water, put some olive oil, put some nutritional yeast flakes, and put some onion on the top of the stove. And you just cook them slowly. Right, until they become like slab chips.
Yes.
Oh. Yes, so don't put too much water. The starch with the salt, with the oil will give you that feeling, yes, exactly.
Yes.
So that's how you would cook them, and they will be very nice and delicious. If you want them crispy, after cooking them on the stove, you can put them in the oven and have them crispy.
Yes.
Then you would chop up your mushrooms, chop up your spinach or your kale, put in some coconut cream, some nutritional yeast flakes. You have a creamy mushroom dish that is just very delicious and very healthy and very good for your brain. And you will feel good because it has the chemicals to make you feel good.
Wow. Oh, doctor, I hate letting you go, actually. It's the worst thing in the world.
Well, thank you for having me, though. I hope Moeketsi finds this useful. For him, the sooner he goes on a plant-based diet. But for anybody else, you don't have to change today. Just start the process of adding what is good and in time letting go of what is bad before you get to that point where you're forced to do it.
Ingabe khona okufundile kwishow yethu namhlanje? Unombono othize ofuna ukushare nathi, woza ku-Twitter @Dijo Le Bophelo, Facebook Dijo Le Bophelo, or Instagram as Dijo Le Bophelo, or ungishaya nge-email dijolebophelo@sabc.co.za. This interview is being posted online for Moeketsi to see and view and take our notes. You can also log on and watch it again and again on SABC Education's YouTube channel. We go back to Moeketsi to hear what he has learned from Dr. Mogapi. Hey, ngishubekile, angazi ngathi depressed or angazi maybe hype, I don't understand, but I'll be right back. Welcome back. Usasenam la ku Dijo Le Bophelo on SABC2. When we met Moeketsi earlier on live show, befuna ukwazi ukuthi ngabe khona ukudla that can help with our mental health. He has seen ingxoxo yethu no Dr. Mogapi online. Ake sibuyele ku Moeketsi to find out what he has picked up from today's chat with the good doctor.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu Dijo Le Bophelo. Ngi-advise ningiphe yona ukuthi ningazise ngokudla engakusebenzisa ngakudla okunganginceda kule situation engikuyo nokudla ukuthi kuya add kule situation engikuyo ekuyi-mental health issues. Ngiyabonga kakhulu ngokuthi ningazise ukuthi ngidinga i-fiber enough ekudleni kwami ukuthi kuzokhona ukunginceda nge-digestive system yami ukuthi ngikhona ukudla kwami ku-digesteke kahle emzimbeni wami. And then ngifunde kakhulu ngama-grains nama-legumes ukuthi kwamele ngizifundise ngizijwayeze wona ukuthi ngiwadle azonginceda kakhulu. Ngibonile ukuthi i-habit yami ukuphuza kumele ngiqale ukuyehlisa until ngize ngifikelele la ngingakhona ukuthi ngiyeke khona. And ngishisa nyama nayo kwamele ngikhathe nje ngize ngikhona ukuthi ngiphile a healthy life.
Iphela kanjena ke ishow yethu namhlanje. Kodwa ningastress niyazi ukuthi ishow iyaqhubeka online. Awungiphonse nge-tweet uthi @Dijo Le Bophelo or ungiface ku Facebook Dijo Le Bophelo or email me dijolebophelo@sabc.co.za. Bakithi ningakhothi ukuthi le show yenzelwe nini ukuthi nisibuze zonke bonke mayelana nokudla phela without your questions awudololo iDijo Le Bophelo. So please buzeni bo via social media or email or ugijima ufake itag yeposini. Ungilahlele nge-letter kwazi bani mhlambe your question will be chosen as the question of the day for next week's show. Masihlangane la kwa SABC2 for more Dijo Le Bophelo next week, same place, same time. Ngo 1 uzobe khona. Bye bye.